maybe we could really help people be more effective public speakers. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do because you can, quote-unquote, see each other. You're not seeing the real person, but it's very funny that most people in business, when they go to Second Life, select an avatar that looks just like them. So it's a mind twist. It had my head in a twist for a long time. So, but to net out, we have this certification now that we're teaching in our BrainTrack-based content that through our channel partner, in videos, again with a channel partner, we have videotaped. Eric giving all these classes so people who are doing self-paced online training can do it just with earphones through us, or they can do it through our partner in a video-based class. So it's like watching a movie, basically, and someone is teaching you. So what's coming out of all this is a real, a very broad set of products, intellectual products, all created out of this, one beginning. And now, of course, what comes out of this is the need to do some additional things, such as to develop an exam, a real exam for these certifications, because if someone attends a class or a boot camp, you have to be able to validate that they've really absorbed the material and they're well prepared before we put stamp completion, so that they can go out and be assured that they're going to be able to be good managers. And of course, as we scale the company, we have to have manuals for various kinds of instructors that we bring in. So it's really quite amazing what can happen. So comments, questions, make sense? You're going to all go out and do it right now, right?
I think Second Life idea is brilliant. Particularly in the IT
please
environment.
don't tell Eric the Second Life thing. It's tough enough already. But no,
As soon as you said it, it just makes so much sense for the tech world. It really does.
It's amazing. It's amazing. You're absolutely correct. It's amazing what happens. I will tell you a brief story before I get back to the phone. I'm coming back to you, Eric, in 1 minute. A brief story. I first went into Second Life, and I made an avatar that looked like me, and maybe a little thinner, but pretty much the same, right? And I found that I couldn't operate my avatar being able to see her face. I needed to be this is weird, and it happens automatically. I had to be able to see your avatar's face, not mine. I needed to be facing you. So when I'm in Second Life, it happens to everyone. It's the strangest thing. We turn our avatars around so that we're looking at the back of our own head. It's like an Einstein weirdness something. Because you feel the natural need. If someone's avatar comes up behind you and speaks, because you have your ISP headphones on, it's directional. So you know someone is behind you, just like we know someone is behind us here. And you automatically turn around. It's really wild. And one afternoon, I was in Second Life doing some things. And there was no plan to meet in World, as it's called, but I was just there. And Eric, just by chance, decided that he was going to go do something in World. So I'm looking across, we have a classroom like this, and I'm looking out the classroom door out to the lobby, and I see Eric. And so I start by go out to the lobby, and he's facing this big whiteboard that we have. And I say, "Hi, Eric." Now he's got his earphones on too. He's in Acton, or not Acton, but Ashland, yeah. And I'm in Pembroke, halfway to the Cape. And he's at home in his office. He's in World, but he's at home in his office. And in his office, in his chair, he goes like this. So, it was really, but I think to your point, when you're having a meeting, when you're doing training, when you're doing public speaking, when you're trying to help someone understand the expertise expertise you have that you are trying to share. Second Life that's one place where your content could be valuable. It's pretty interesting. And it took me a long time to sort of accept that if we were going to be able to make it into something. And we have now gotten a very, very attractive contract to be training for a very large international company in Second Life. Could knock me over with a feather, still. Any other questions, comments, anything? Yes?
What you're doing too is you're distilling the essence of the book and creating new value based on principle, as opposed to just the mass content of the book. You're distilling it down to individual things for managers, for techies, etc., but the essence is still the same, but focused on individual needs. You're repackaging, you're distilling the information, and information that we all have. Eric has the versatility to be able to focus it and clear it up so that it's appropriate for the specific listener.
You're right. What it is the underlying, and I know you all have the same underlying content or topic or principle that you are operating from. And the principle we're operating from is that management is a different career. Many of us become managers because we were something else, and someone says, wow, you're good at that job, let me just make you a manager. And sometimes you're the worst manager of all. I mean, I was always being said, hey, you've got a great sales rep, promote that guy, let's make him a manager. I'm thinking, are you crazy? He'd make a terrible manager. He's a great sales rep, but he would be a terrible manager.
Do you recall the Peter principle?
Yeah, well, partly because the characteristics that make a real killer sales rep are they're a maverick, they make decisions, they don't ask permission, they get forgiveness afterwards. And you can't manage people that way. So you're right. We've taken the information that we have and that underlying principle that management is a different career. You are now changing careers, and you ought to be trained to do it. And depending on the market sector you're in, if you're in healthcare, being a manager in healthcare is different from being a manager in manufacturing. And if you are in a particular part of the company, if you're in finance, being a manager in finance is very different from being a manager in IT. And we are taking that and we are packaging it. And I never thought of us as being like Procter & Gamble. But we are. And I think that we've taken that lesson to heart. I would urge you to take that lesson to heart because Procter & Gamble takes the same soap. It's the same, if I was a chemist, I'd probably slept through chemistry. But if I was a chemist, it's probably the same darn stuff. But it's put in different packages and it's aimed at different users. And, it's made of different colors so it looks good for girls. And then it's called something else, it's green for guys. It's the same darn bar soap with maybe a different little bit of perfume in it or something. But that's the packaging amazement and genius of companies like Procter & Gamble. And look what they've done. And I think it's the same thing. So I will say again, I wish we could say that we are, thank you for saying we're brilliant, but I think that the examples are around us, and we've just been lucky enough to, notice a few things, We just have to.
But I think if you said that they were brilliant.
He said Second Life was brilliant.
And I think that's an accurate description because the majority of people aren't willing to make that jump. I mean, everybody here has material, and yet how often or how much have we said, oh, wait a minute, this is one market I can do it. I tweak it here and I change these words and these examples. Sometimes when I'm describing my qualifications, I tell people I'm multilingual as far as industry.